Well, good afternoon, everyone. As we're heading on to the early evening, we are here on the west side of San Antonio on the campus of UTSA at the Convocation Center as we get ready for the first ever AAC matchup here at home. And the test today is going to be a difficult one as one of the best teams in the AAC, the SMU Mustangs, come rolling down I-35 down 1604 right in here to the Convocation Center. I'm Justin Simmons, joined alongside Sam Thomas. And Sam, it is great to be with you this afternoon as we get ready for what should be a fantastic game of volleyball here on the campus of UTSA.
Yes, Justin, I'm looking forward to it. SMU with receiving votes is going to come out here in a tough road game matches this weekend against UTSA. And since they both opened up AAC last week with wins, it's going to be a really good match.
Yeah, but that's a perfect start for UTSA. New conference, win number 1 on the road in the books, taking out the 49ers of Charlotte. SMU, well, they just trounced all over the Tigers of Memphis last time out. A perfect 3-0 victory. It will be your Roadrunners, who are dressed in the white tops with orange trim and blue sleeves with blue bottoms going from left to right to get us started here in set 1. And we're underway, and this will be tracked down. Free ball sent over. UTSA will get to work this one. Here to the near side on the backside set, and the diving dig could not be made, and UTSA comes out with point number 1.
No, that's a great serve right there for UTSA to start off with. When I talked to Coach Torek yesterday, she mentioned that part of their game plan is to really work on that first contact and to get SMU out of system.
And they're going to need a lot of that today, and they're going to have to limit
and I jinxed
like
it.
That. Hey, that is the curse of the commentator. That's something you'll learn as you progress through your career on this side of everything, as opposed to being a coach or a player.
Right. Don't talk about the serves.
Well, unless it's the opposing
Oh, there we
team,
go.
Right?
That's okay then.
Well, all you SMU fans, obviously we're excited for you to join us. It is a pro UTSA broadcast. And, of course, for all you Roadrunner fans, thank you for tuning in. We're glad to be alongside y'all for the ride as we get ready for this serve. UTSA up 2-1 here in set 1. This set to the near side. It takes that ricochet right off the front wall. Beautiful set and finish on the kill for UTSA as that was put away right in the front row.
By Coppage.
Yes, Alicia Coppage, the senior from Houston, Texas. Can they go 2 for 2? This one looks returnable.
And that's one thing that SMU is really great at. When I was watching their film, they run such a fast offense that for UTSA, they're going to have to serve them tough, especially when that middle's up with that setter front row, because that is a fast tempo slide to that pin.
You know, it's funny you mention that because it's two teams that are still trying to make adjustments, even though we are now in conference play, because there's a lot of new faces on each squad.
Absolutely.
And we'll get into that as we roll on through our broadcast here today. Quick set at the net, and it's trounced on. Once again, it's Alicia Coppage for her second straight kill.
And that's a great run. That 31 tempo set right there to the middle gets SMU kind of guessing on if they're going to the pin or they're going to the middle or the back, because they got 3 options with that great pass. So that's a great fast tempo middle set right there.
Oh, I would have been lost right in the middle of no man's land on that one myself, Sam. Well executed by UTSA there.
Absolutely.
As the libero is up here. SMU is actually dressed in the road grays with red trim. We do have a stoppage in play, though. I'm not sure exactly as to what transpired, but we're ready to go now. Is this sent over by Giro, almost getting the ace there.
And that's a great dig.
Keeping this set right at the net near that antenna. It is still in play. Quick set at the net is blocked, and it won't be returned. Good defense there from UTSA.
Number 18, Caitlin Krinke, she is such a fast twitch middle. She's a little undersized, but she makes up for it with her fast twitch and her speed, and just her hand placement over the net is so quick.
Well, we were talking about that in the pregame between you and myself. How do you make up for the lack of, natural talent or gifts when it comes to speed, power, and such? And you do gotta, like you said before, you have to have that high IQ.
Absolutely.
It's now 5-3 here in set 1. For all of y'all that just joined us a little late, UTSA in front, Giro, with a good dig as she had to slide.
Wow. I mean, UTSA right now is doing such a great job with SMU being physical and stuff, but they're doing a great job with that first contact. And getting really good serve-receive passes for their setter.
And there she was again, Cranky. Was second on the team last season with 167 kills. Got the ride out of bounds to make it 6-3 in favor of the Roadrunners. This will be returned, trying to set it up for an overhand slap, only to be denied. Coming back, it's out of play, and Cranky again, cranking it.
That is, I love it. That's a great last name for a middle.
Aptly named, aptly performing so far this afternoon, as UTSA has jumped out to a 7-3 advantage on this, the drive for 25. Sending it to the far side. It's just shellacked right off of the defense. Trying to play it quickly. Dug out nicely from the back row. Looking for some finesse, and it's read well right at the net by SMU. UTSA, not to be outdone, another diving dig. This is a great rally by both teams. Very quick paced. And I like how you went, even knew, just hit a little too hard.
Just too, yeah.
And just right off the mark.
Yeah, SMU is doing a really good job. I mean, traveling on the road is, whether it's a fast trip or a long trip for you, is never easy. So once they get kind of settled here, they're going to start working on that first contact, and they'll start getting back in the system.
Looking for the dump. Giro there to be the hero the first time. But it's hit hard and off of the defender, out of play. Ellie Turner unable to come up with that. 8-4 our score. UTSA is still ahead here as they're nearing double digits. We talked about fast play, slow play. Right now that SMU is behind, Sam, how do the Mustangs want to approach the next few points?
I think right now, right there, a perfect example, they've got to limit their service errors right now. And they've had a couple blocking errors, but they're still doing a great job of getting settled, especially, like I said, of being on the road. But if they limit those service errors, right, and they get that first contact and serve receive more about 8 feet off the net rather than about 10, their offense is so fast that they will find their rhythm.
Cansu Günaydın, former Turkey national team player on the U18 level, captained her nation 6 times. Tracking back, it's tracked down nicely by Turner, putting it over the net. Good dig here from SMU. They go with the backside set, but it's blocked. Well read there by Wiepert. Oh, too much steam behind it. And it looks like it might have got lost right there in front of the front wall.
Yeah, absolutely. Right there, SMU is out of system, so that set came from a bump set from their right side and led her the outside a little bit inside. So I just think UTSA's block just didn't do a really good job of stepping inside.
Had to close down that space.
Yes.
9-5 our score. SMU behind at the moment. This is almost a free ball, but it's one at the net with the aggression from Wiepert as the freshman answered the call.
I love to see a setter go up there and joust with middles and outsides, because 9 times out of 10, that setter's going to win that joust because they're a little bit smaller undersized and they're underneath the ball, and whoever stays on that ball longer is going to win that.
Setting it here near side, lots of pace behind that hit, but taking that touch out of play. That point belongs to SMU, but it's UTSA who's in double digits first, 10-6 here in set 1. Sam, you mentioned they have to limit their errors from the service line. They'll get a chance here with their libero. And the curse of the commentator, if you're an SMU fan.
We just cannot talk about the serves.
Uluave just unable to get that one over the net. It will be UTSA who's hoping to not have the same fortune. Wiepert, who's had the last score, gets a good serve there. Uluave with the first touch. Too much power to be handled on that finish from Jamison Wheeler. That is the player that you need to look out for SMU, the co-preseason player of the year in the AAC. It's 11-7 now here in set 1. UTSA still in front, but SMU closing in, and hits like that are going to help the Mustangs' cause as Sorensen overhits the mark.
See, and that's what SMU does a really good job of. They run such a fast offense, and their setter does a great job. Even when they are a little bit of out of system, she can still bring that team back into system, and they are a big physical team.
But errors still ringing around,
Yep.
especially from the service line for SMU, and this bodes well for UTSA, but they have to take advantage of said errors.
Absolutely. I mean, when you have a big play like they just did right there and then you come back and miss a serve, I know as a head coach, Sam over there, Coach Eager, is upset about that because after a big play, you definitely want to keep that ball in play.
How coincidental, two coaches that are in their second years of each respective program. But like you mentioned, it's a small volleyball world. As this ball still alive somehow, and it's a free ball now for UTSA. Jump set at the net, just too much power on the ride out. Sometimes it's just best to go right at it than try to hit around it.
Yep.
And Alicia Coppage, not exactly the names I was expecting to really power UTSA forward here in set one, but almost everybody pretty much stepping up to have a really good beginning to this match.
Yeah. UTSA is doing a really good job of spreading their offense with their right side. They run a 5-1, so they only have one right side attacker, right? But their setter's doing a really good job of spreading the offense, getting the middles involved early, because that's going to keep SMU's middles bounced in the middle of the court and having to work even harder left to right.
Sam, let me ask you this. We have our first timeout taken. It's going to be taken by SMU. They're down 14-8 here in set one. If you're Coach Torok, what are you telling your Roadrunners in this huddle with the lead and against a team that obviously you go back and you read the literature that, they are not favored against, as SMU was favored at the very top of the West and UTSA a few places lower?
We'll see. I mean, if I'm Coach Torek right now, I'm telling my team to keep doing what you're doing, because what they're doing a great job on UTSA side is that first contact, and that's what Coach said that they've been preaching all week is that first serve and that first serve receive platform pass has got to be perfect every single time and executed where they need that ball to go. And if I'm talking to him, continue about SMU, is letting him know that SMU's been in this situation several times. I mean, they know what it's like to get 5 setters on the road wind. So if I'm telling my team just to stay calm, keep doing what you're doing, and if I'm SMU, I'm telling them, guys, just keep settling in. We're on the road. It's against our disadvantage.
Let me ask you this. How much does it matter that both of these teams are going to meet again tomorrow? When it comes to displaying your offenses.
That's a really tough turnaround. You got to think about these kids. They're playing at 6 p.m. and then 2 p.m.
Less
tomorrow.
Than 24 hours.
Yes, absolutely. So a lot of credit to their athletic training staff for being here late nights and weekends and getting their players ready.
And, of course, those assistant coaches that are doing the laundry on the road.
Absolutely.
It's a tough life.
Yep. That's a great serve receive right there by SMU after a timeout. I mean, it's exactly what you want to execute, and Coach Eager's definitely happy with that play.
Clothier coming in with the kill. Another one of those pre-AAC selections. She's already had 12 kills 4 times this season. Good dig out of the back row, trying to utilize this, only to be not outdone by SMU. The dump is there, and it's accurate.
That's a great shot right there by that setter for SMU. She did a really good job of, no one saw it coming. She dropped it over her right shoulder, and it would hit the court just perfectly.
If anybody's going to appreciate a well-placed dump,
absolutely.
It's going to be
a former setter.
Who is a former setter, who just happens to be tall.
Exactly.
Setting this one, just trying to glance it over. The meeting at the net is going to be won by Gundayan.
She did a great job right there staying patient at the net and seeing that overpass coming. That's a really hard ball to track over quick and stuff and try to turn and joust that ball back down, but she did a great job tracking at the net.
I would think that you might have a little fear in you going, overhand right for overhand right against the opposition, just because you never know if it's going to actually hit the ball or not.
Absolutely. Well, you're also afraid of hitting the net or afraid of hitting it kind of blinded. So, you're just like, okay, got it again right there, going with touch and just kind of muscle memory.
Well, that's why I leave it to you all, the experts. As Mia Sorensen gets on the board there, she was able to glance it off of the defense. UTSA up by 6 on this race to 25 here in set one for you volleyball novices that are joining us for the first time. You just never know when they may be out there. There could be somebody watching for the very first time that hasn't figured out just yet that this game is for them.
And all they know is that this game is just fast-paced.
Oh, but it's so fun to watch.
It is.
And it's like when you really start breaking down how fast these serves arrive, how high these ladies jump, and how much power they get behind just to try to dig that out at the very last instance.
Right.
Oh, my.
Just close your eyes sometimes and hope it hits you.
Just try to stick a shoulder in there.
Exactly. Chicken wing, whatever you got to do to keep that ball off. Anything goes. I think we're going to have a challenge here by Coach Torek for UTSA. Yeah, when they pull that green card, right there, that means they're going to challenge it. I believe they think there was a touch on the block or by the defender on SMU's side.
Well, if I was going to trust anybody's judgment, it would be Coach Torok. She's had the road well-traveled, obviously a former player herself at Texas A&M. She actually coached at one of the other schools I cover back in 2005 in Division III Southwestern up the road.
Oh, that's awesome.
I-35, which is actually a lot closer to Dallas in Georgetown than it is here in San Antonio. And obviously she's had her ride in the Division I level, her last stop at Bradley with the Braves. Really improved that win-loss record over her tenure while at the helm there. And she was a former assistant here as well, so I know she was glad to be back in the friendly confines of the home of the Alamo City. But
oh, absolutely. I know, being a volleyball person myself, that when I heard Coach Torok got this head job, I was thrilled because I've known her. I've had the honor of coaching against her. She's a great coach. She's very calm demeanor. Really cares about her student athletes, but she's also one of my favorites because she gets really fired up and excited, and she's very big on giving you credit when credit's due, and she just will she'll just go out of her way, to make you the best player that you can on and off the court.
And you're starting to see her add a little bit more of her touches on this program as, they've had a rough go the last couple of seasons, and they were just trying to get on the right side of 500, but the way that this season has started off, there's a lot of optimism.
Absolutely.
And like we just mentioned, if anybody was going to take a well-taken challenge, it was going to be Coach Torok, and lo and behold,
she won that.
They come away with the point, 17-11.
That's a great challenge right there. I'm really glad that she challenged it. Now they just got to figure out who's serving.
That's the one thing about volleyball.
Yes.
It's just so important on that rotation because you lose points out of not being in rotation. I've seen it happen at the most inopportune times, like set point.
Exactly.
Oh, man. That's
the worst. It's just when the nerves get going and you just kind of, wait, did I just serve? Did you just serve? Or, and you kind of forget. So that's why you've got a great referee staff, scores table staff right there to just triple check.
So for you fans that have just tuned in, it's 17-11. UTSA is ahead here in set one. They're dressed in the white tops, blue bottoms with blue sleeves, going from left to right here in set one. SMU going with the sleeveless look, all gray with red accents. No blue, even though it's part of their color scheme.
Yep, just on the shoes a little bit, but they look sharp.
See, I knew you had the eye for fashion, too. This one right hit off of the defense. Backside set. Well placed. Well executed.
Yeah, that's a great play right there. I mean, for UTSA right there, number 8, Turner, in middle back, just made a great dig. Got her setter about 2-3 feet off the net and just able to run that slide. That was just a great combination right there.
I thought maybe that wraparound was a little too telegraphed, but it was not the case. Turner playing well as she put that pass right where it had to be. Did it touch the line, though? No. They're going to say that it was just beyond the boundary.
You don't want to pull a challenge card too close together, especially with this lead right now. I think she wants to save that just in case. And none of her players were looking back at her. I think that's a big tell right there. If your players are turned to you, screaming at you, making eye contact, you got to pull that green card.
How hard is it as a coach to be like, nah, guys, I got this one. I saw it.
Well, they're like, no, trust us. So you got to go with your players. They have the best view of the court.
Well, they just had successfully challenged the play a couple of moments ago. They won't try it again. I think they feel confident with the 18-12 advantage, at least for the moment. SMU is a really good squad, and mistakes, it's still early on in the season, even though we are in conference play. They're still trying to get a feel for each other truly, both sides. So I do expect to have some inopportune mistakes.
Yes, absolutely. It's still early in the season.
18-13, SMU with the serve and the disadvantage. Set right at the net, kept in. It didn't touch the antenna, so we'll continue on. Turner with the dig from the back row. Not once, but twice, and now SMU will use this as a free ball, but she carried it.
Wow.
Little double touch.
Yeah, you knew that too. I mean, the setter knew it as well out of her hands. You can just tell by the facial expressions, and then the whole UTSA bench and team are screaming.
It's like you would know. That's got to be like the worst feeling.
It is.
Especially when you think you touched it cleanly. It's
correct.
Like, how did they see that?
Yeah, I know. When there's any type of spin or movement out of that second contact, they're calling it.
19-13 as UTSA is trying to close in on the 20-point mark. Gunandin had that rainbow serve just barely picked up, but the block answered the first time call. Can they answer again? They didn't have to.
That's a great swing right there.
But it did take a ride off of UTSA. Just how fast that ball travels and how minimal the touch is. Barely even misdirect the trajectory of that ball. 19-14 on the SMU serve, but the errors continue to pile up from the service line here for the Mustangs this afternoon.
Yeah, SMU is definitely leading right now in the service errors, and I think, again, that's just the first set. They're on the road. That's, this is a big gym, a lot of end zone right there on both sides, so I think they're going to kind of settle in as this match progresses.
It's going to be a free ball here off of the serve for UTSA to work with. The quick jump set puts it right where it had to be. Alicia Coppage. Point blank precision.
I tell you what, UTSA is doing a fantastic job right now of passing every dig, free ball, serve, receive, whatever they have. Oh, we're going to have a challenge here.
Oh, they're going to say that was out.
That was SMU. Oh. Well, from this bird's eye view type of angle that we have, I feel like that was a great play, and that should be UTSA's point.
We'll see it here on the replay, I think. But it looked good from our vantage point. Obviously, we're up here in the stands beyond the crowd, so we have a great view of the tactics. But when it comes to pinpoint plays like that down the line, it's kind of hard to see from up here.
Right. In 2015, I know the sets only go to 25, and it looks like, UTSA, they've got this one. But I'm telling you, SMU has been in this situation. UTSA is fired up, and they have got to keep their foot on the gas right now because the 2015 lead is in volleyball, as you can see, it's such a momentum sport, and things happen so fast that it takes 1 to 2 errors, right? And then the momentum's back on SMU's side. So you don't want to lose this challenge. If you do, if UTSA ends up losing this challenge, they've got to come right back and answer back in a great serve receive and earn this point.
But you just said exactly what I was thinking. It's like it's momentum, and it's trying to maintain minimal errors, because UTSA hasn't been as clean as they would like to be either. They don't want to just gift them a couple of points and allow what I perceive to be a very strong SMU team. And in some cases, you can probably argue that they might have gotten better this year, despite losing out on an all-conference player from last season who graduated this season because of the additions that they made.
Right.
So you don't want to gift them anything if you don't have to.
No, especially, just teams that have, when you've been in this situation. Oh, there we go again. Torek is two for two. That's great.
Because it's really helpful that she didn't use that challenge earlier.
Yes. Yeah, because that one she might have lost. But the thing is with a challenge, if you win the challenge, you keep the challenge. So that's a great thing. So if you challenge and you lose it, well, then you lose the challenge.
I like that rule. A little make it, take it.
Yeah, it's like if you earn it, keep it.
Nice. We're going to have to hit her up for some Vegas odds later then. She's been good so far.
Hey, there you go.
Do want a new car,
There you go.
21-14 is the score as we're awaiting the serve here. UTSA in the front, and UTSA feeling it on the sideline.
No, it's great. UTSA looks loose. They look like they're having fun, and they're really just jiving together.
SMU, though, they can quickly strike back.
Yep, just like that.
Curse of the commentator if you're a UTSA fan. If you're an SMU fan, though, you liked what you just saw coming out of that long delay. Yeah. It's 21-15. SMU can quickly grab back points here. They do have the preseason pick for the Conference Player of the Year, as well as a couple of other notable players that were selected in the preseason. But that won't do them anything there, as Faye Wilbright, the transfer from Texas A&M, makes her presence known. And that's the thing with the UTSA. You just never know who's going to be the player that's going to step up.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing right now, especially with them just kind of figuring out their offense and their defense and just their system. You definitely want to try everybody out, and, hey, they want to take the role and let them have it.
Looking for the return. It's blocked.
Wow.
And it won't be returnable. Man, whoever is in the front row, it doesn't matter for UTSA. They're getting the job done at the net.
They are. They're doing a great job of just keeping their attackers in front of them.
We're only 2 points away for the Roadrunners to take a set 1 victory.
A little bit of a collision there.
Everybody seems to be okay as play carries on. Luave able to get that ball into the air. From the attack line, it's tracked down by Turner. That was a hard readjustment for Wilbright. As a setter, like when you put it into that situation on that time go around, what are you thinking for the next ball that comes your way?
Yeah, I mean, right there, it's just an out-of-system. They took the setter out for UTSA. She had to dig that ball. Libero stepping in, getting a great out-of-system set. So I think right here, she's just looking for a great pass and hopefully trying to get her middle back involved.
Wilbright there for the dig. Left overhand finish not there for UTSA. The finesse, Wilbright there again. Too much power. And this is what we were talking about for SMU. They can quickly garner the points, but they are still in the deficit, 23-17. UTSA still has 2 timeouts left in this set. How many points do you let it get to if you're Coach Torok before you decide to take one?
The rule of thumb is you really don't want to let a team go on any more than 3 points. So if they get on a 3-point run, especially when your team is in the red zone like UTSA is right now, they're in the 20s, that's the red zone. And if SMU just kind of keep, right on cue. So there's their timeout.
Yeah, I saw her taking the step out to the court. We were talking about it right now, and I kind of figured, like, well, if you're talking about it, and you're saying it comes
Everyone's
after 3
feeling
points.
it. Yeah, you just don't want teams to get, like you're 2 points away from finishing this set against a really good team, SMU. So you just don't want them to carry the momentum for more than 2 or 3 points at a time.
Yeah, because this is an SMU team that can punish you if you let them stick around in the game. And for UTSA, I mean, there's a lot of pride at stake because while these two teams have met off and on throughout the last couple of decades, it has been rather one-sided.
Yep.
Out of the previous 15 meetings, it's been pretty much all SMU, 11 wins to 4 losses. However, I think right now UTSA,
they're feeling pretty good.
I think they're feeling all right.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have the excitement with UTSA coming into a new conference this year. So, you're just excited. You haven't played a lot of these teams yet. You're at home against a really good team that is receiving votes into the top 25 at the NCAA. So it's exciting time. And there's a great crowd out here tonight. So I know UTSA is definitely feeding off of the energy inside this gym.
I have to admit, it's still a little strange to see some of these different pennants that weren't here last year.
Yep.
Trying to still get antiquated with all the new teams in the AAC, including us.
Yep.
23-18 SMU, who will not be in the AAC next season. With the serve going to the far side. It was blocked but kept alive by UTSA. They'll get it way out here, but did it touch Wilbright on the way out?
Did, yeah. And you can tell UTSA, they know. They saw it too because none of those players turned and, screamed like, oh, challenge it or anything. So she knew.
This is where it gets scary now. 23-19, SMU is really close to closing that gap. And mistakes like that on the ace will allow it to transpire.
I think Torque's either got to take another timeout or she's probably thinking about making a switch maybe on her serve receive right now, kind of what play they're going to run or trying to just mix it up a little bit.
I believe this is Clothier from the service line. Right at the attack line, it was dug out and scored on the kill. Caroline Kruger. Like we mentioned before, you just never know who's going to put the finishing touch on it for UTSA at some moments. But they're right where they want to be.
They are.
4-point cushion at set point.
Yep.
And it'll go to Wilbright. Good serve, but it will be returned quickly at the net. Finished well. And Clothier with the kill.
And that's what SMU has been struggling with this entire set. Their serve receives they've been pulling their setter about 10, 12 feet off the net to where they can't run the middle fast like that. But right there you saw that was a perfect pass, a great set, and that was just a great kill.
All in one fluid motion, and then they get the ace. There's a timeout coming from Coach Torok.
I feel it.
And she signals
that's
to
a
the
great
referee.
call. Yeah, that's a great timeout for her. Again, I mean, we've been harping on this. Like, you can never count SMU out.
No, they're a strong squad. They've had great success historically against UTSA. Mm-hmm. They come in with a 7-5 record, also victorious in their first game out against Memphis in AAC play. And this is a team in SMU that went 22-10 last season. More importantly, 15-5 in this very conference. Just missing out on the NCAA tournament because UCF was so good last season.
Yep.
as well as Houston. Houston actually winning the AAC, UCF just right there behind them. And that's the thing we were talking about during the pregame for us, was just the fact that the AAC, it doesn't have a conference championship in volleyball.
Right.
So every game is so
matters.
important.
Absolutely. So every match, I mean, you're playing your half of your conference twice and everyone else just once, but I mean, every game matters, home and away, because again, like you said, they don't have a post-regular season conference tournament. So you got to finish on the top. And then if you're receiving votes, there's a good chance you can slip into that NCAA tournament. But every game matters.
And that's that double-edged sword. No upsets late in the season if you're going through a tournament, if you finish on the top. But if you're one of those teams on the underneath of the table, it's hard to rally back late in the season and make up those losses. Trying to get the win. You can't power it down here in set one. SMU looking for the return, and they get it. 24-23, UTSA out of timeouts, and they're going to have to go on gumption here and just try to get back into it, because they had played perfect volleyball up until this juncture of the match.
Yeah, volleyball is such a crazy sport with this momentum, how it switches so fast.
Another difficult serve, and you can see the frustration transpire there on the body language from Peyton Turner in the back row, as she knows she didn't get a good hit on it cleanly.
Right. If you're UTSA, you definitely don't want to let this set slip away from you. They still got a chance here. You got to win by 2.
G-Rope just put it over the net. That's a free ball. She's there again, but it's going to go out of play. And UTSA, unfortunately, starting to crumble at the worst time possible here in this set. It is now set point in set one for SMU. This would be a rather miraculous comeback considering how many points they had to make up if they are able to see it all the way through. UTSA looking to stop.
Well, that's a great spot.
And
painted that line.
Exactly what they needed from Mia Sorensen on that little swipe.
Yep. No, she did a great job of going up inside with that set, leading her inside a little, even though she's left-handed, and took it back crossbody for her, hitting that ball right down the line or tipping it right on the inline.
Both teams needing perfection. And again, Turner, it was kind of in between. She wanted to start down, then she knew she had to move her hands up, and it kind of fell right below her hands.
I think that tempo of that slide attack, the ball hit the blocker's hand last minute, and it kind of caught her off guard because it caught her up high, and she thought it was coming down low.
Another opportunity for SMU to take set one. It's a rainbow serve off the far side. Looking for the return, and they get it!
That little finesse shot right there by Sorensen, it was great. I mean, she had it was a high, out-of-system kind of ball for her, and she just took some tempo off that ball, some speed off. Did a great little thumb down shot and hit that ball to that right front corner. That's a hard shot to hit.
Does it ever fool you as a defender when it's coming from the left side more so than the right side, just because they're usually more ubiquitous with the right hand?
Yeah, absolutely. So lefties are like the unicorns, right?
Yeah.
They're very hard to read, right? So it's definitely a different blocking and kind of a different angle that you're kind of reaching in on rather than a right hand, who's letting that ball come across their body, and as a lefty can go inside and get on that ball quicker, obviously with that ball landing on their left shoulder.
It was SMU who just had the last point as we were in extended points here in set one. Celia Cullen was looking for the ace, looking for the answer. Uluave able to get to it first. This will be a free ball for UTSA. You got to make the most of it here, and they do.
And this is definitely going to be a really fun match to continue to watch. This battling back and forth. Both teams are just doing a much better job of taking that first contact more confidently, right, and putting that ball right on top of their setter's head so she can run a clean offense on both sides.
I know we're only in set one, but the energy level is amped up a bit here.
It is nice. This is a great game to commentate tonight.
And this is still just set one, as Gunainen, who just came in and scored, was there for the serve. Off of the backside, Gunainen there for the first touch. Set going behind the back, and they get it!
And that right there, when I was talking to Coach Torek for UTSA yesterday, she was saying that they want to serve them short. They want to get their middles out of the offense, and you can see SMU is in rotation one right now, so their setter's back row. They've got 3 strong attackers, right? So you want to take out as many as attackers as you can with these really good aggressive serves.
He was cranky with the last kill.
Right there.
Her serve right at the attack line, and the answer comes back from SMU once again. as neither team not wanting to let this set slip away.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with SMU's fight to come back, and then now they're just sticking with UTSA point for point.
And UTSA had a cushion as much as about almost 6. This will go out. We hadn't seen a service error for SMU.
We haven't, yeah. Early on we did, obviously, being on the road. You're going to see that in a new gym and just the space and stuff like that, but that's definitely a crucial time. I know that was a great aggressive serve, but she just missed that.
Luave with the first touch. This time they do get it inside the boundary on the kill, as that was placed by Alex Glover.
Right there, again, SMU does a great job handling that first contact. A great pass. It was right on top of that setter's head, and Glover did a great job putting that ball away in deep area 5.
Luave will be serving here from the near side. UTSA has this game even at 29 on. They'll be in the lead again, 30-29.
Number 9, Ellie Turner, the DS from Austin, Texas for UTSA. I'm very impressed with her right now. She's handled some really good out-of-system balls and some service balls, and she's done a great job placing those perfectly.
Big situation here for the freshman at the service line, and McKenna Wiepert from Sherwood, Oregon, just a little far away from home. Not too much. A couple of time zone differences, so shout out to all those in Oregon that are watching on the West Coast. This is where you get a little bit more nervous now that you had that little break.
Well, absolutely, and it's 30-29. It looks like UTSA's run out of substitutions, so their DS, number 9, is actually playing front row right now on the right side.
And you only get those 12 substitutions in the college ranks per set. It's one of those things that's so common to the game. I never even think about you running out of substitutions. Yep. But in instances like this.
And you can see UTSA is trying to scramble. They're doing a great job, but they're kind of figuring out, okay, where do I go? Where should I line up? What should I be running? Right, because now they're only limited to 2 hitters.
Did UTSA just get bailed out, or did they call illegal rotation?
Oh, no.
Because that's what I was afraid of right there. It's like you saw them trying to get into the zone and not overlap.
No overlapping. Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think she blew the whistle before the serve had happened, or as the serve was happening, because before that ball landed out of bounds, I think the down ref saw that UTSA might have been out of rotation in serve receive, right, with the overlapping. So even though that ball was going out, the whistle was blown first for the out of rotation.
And you saw it quickly there on the replay, and that was our big fear when we were talking about, coincidentally, earlier in this set about rotation and how it can come at inopportune times. This would be one of the most inopportune times for UTSA, because that was a point gifted to them off of the service error. And I get what Wilbright's trying to say. She's like, I don't normally play here, so I'm just trying to line up.
Yeah. And as a setter, anybody in this position, you don't practice being out of rotation or having your DS having to play front row. You don't really practice running out of subs, right? So you just got to make sure that you trust your setter right now, right? Be the quarterback of the team. Put your players where you need to, and put your attackers at the advantage, right, and where they're strong at, and just see what happens, especially when it's tied 30-30.
Well, for all you fans, I hope you can feel the excitement. It's a packed house here in the Convocation Center. We are way extended into the points. We're at 30 all, and they're just going to have them reserve. And UTSA, good luck twice in a row.
That was.
I'll take it.
Yeah. I see what SMU is doing. They're trying to serve short, kind of get them scrambling, because they want to take out yet another attacker, trying to get a passer in their zone, because they already are down to 2 with their DS having to play front row. So great. Nice try on the aggressive serve, but just missed.
And we have one true blocker out there for UTSA. The dunk, though, it's kept alive. They say it was down.
You love to see it.
They will get the set point finish. UTSA. I think they shocked them a little bit. Oh, are they going to challenge it?
Yeah, I bet she challenges it. I would too. Especially when it's game point, you have nothing to lose really, besides obviously the challenge. But you're already this far in. But I'm very impressed with the freshman setter McKenna Wiepert. That was a great little dump over that she just had right there. And if she just won that set on that, I'm very impressed with that freshman setter.
Well, it's 32-30 right now, and that could have been the set winner.
Yep.
I don't see.
But if any part of that ball hits the ground, whether the libero is able to get her forearm, the back of her hand underneath that ball, it does not matter. But if any part of that ball touches that ground, that ball's down.
We saw it on the replay just quickly there. And it was Uluave, the libero, who was able to pancake her way down there. Great effort. Honestly, from my vantage point, I thought she was able to get underneath it. Now, how much of the ball she got underneath, I don't know. I couldn't see from up here.
Right. Hopefully that camera angle was strong. Looks like they're calling it down for UTSA. Oh, that's good. UTSA won that set.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it is. If any part of that ball touches that ground, it doesn't matter. It's the legal calls that the ball was down.
Camera angle was strongly in favor of UTSA there. And I think you might admit that UTSA a little fortunate to come away with that win in set 1 when they probably should have been able to tie that up a little sooner. And like you said, though, before, Sam, you can't allow SMU to hang around because they make you pay. And now we went to almost another full half of a volleyball set.
I know, and these guys, they got to turn around and play again tomorrow. So you want to tie these, loose ends up at the very end and finish at 25 points. But, I give credit to SMU. Like we've been saying from the beginning, they've been in this situation before. They're a great team. They're coached by a great coach. They're not afraid of situations, not afraid of being on the road and being down. But UTSA, I thought, did a great job of right there in the red zone for them in the 20s. They were kind of losing their momentum of that first contact with the aggressive and serve receive and having great passes. So I thought they did a great job of cleaning that up after they got aced a couple of times, and they came right back with that first contact, and they were able to get back in system.
Well, we got a couple of minutes where we can take a break. Let's step away. We'll be back for the start of set number 2. UTSA in front, 1-0 here at the Convocation Center on the campus of UTSA.